We're going to begin this morning with the baby formula shortage here in the U.S. It's causing stress, anxiety for families across the country, as well as real health concerns for infants in some cases.
That's right. In testimony before Congress yesterday, the head of the FDA told Congress he believes the Michigan baby formula factory that shut down earlier this year because of contamination concerns will be back up and running in the next week or two. But parents, don't exhale just yet. Despite that timeline, Robert Califf warns it will take several more weeks beyond that deadline before supplies return to normal levels, especially in rural areas. Remember, the shutdown of that Michigan factory plunged the country into this crisis as supplies of formula quickly dwindled. Last night on Now Tonight with Joshua Johnson, Secretary of Agriculture Tom Vilsack discussed how the U.S. can learn from this crisis.
I think the key here is for us to take a look at ways in which we can have a more resilient system, the ability to provide greater flexibility so that when and if there is disruption, other suppliers can move in more quickly, that we can take steps as we are currently taking to import formula that is as safe as what is being produced here in the United States.
Now, many families across the country are scrambling to find alternative ways to get the formula needed for their babies. NBC News business and technology correspondent Jolene Kent spoke with a mother of triplets, sharing her concerns, and has this story.
Sydney Galvin has been on a desperate hunt for formula to feed her triplets.
These are babies, they shouldn't have to go through this.
Galvin depends on the Women, Infants, and Children Nutrition Program, or WIC, for formula. She was supposed to be able to get 9 cans for each baby per month with the benefit, but because of the shortage, she can't find it. She's been forced to pay hundreds of dollars out of pocket for other formula not covered by WIC.
Switching what you're feeding is not easy. How are the babies doing?
They weren't tolerating it very well at first, actually. They had a lot of reflux and they were puking a lot of what they were eating up.
To fill the gaps, she's driven nearly an hour to Mother's Milk Bank, the largest breast milk donor bank in the country.
What has demand been like for the families who can't get formula?
They've been calling on a steady basis. These formula-fed infants and their families who can't find formula, that increased percentage is 300%. Those families are in crisis.
The lab is working overtime, first screening their donors. Then their milk is pooled, pasteurized, and tested to make sure there's zero bacteria before being distributed to babies in need. Texas has been hit particularly hard. Formula out-of-stock rates are at 50% here. Abbott Nutrition, whose voluntary recall and plant closure exacerbated the shortage, was the primary infant formula provider for 85% of WIC infants in the Southwest region. Even though the USDA has authorized states to allow recipients to purchase alternative formulas, more than half of the states do not tell parents what the substitute formulas are on their website. Sydney just hopes a solution is on the way.
How long does one pack of breast milk last for triplets?
It only lasts about 5 days, to be honest. It's something, so I'm just grateful for it.
Jolene Kent, NBC News, Austin.
Oh, look at those beautiful little triplets. We now want to introduce you to someone who's doing what he can to go above and beyond to help families. Benji Arslanovsky is the owner of Our Place restaurant in the Dallas area. Of course, you just heard how Texas is being hit hard. And that means he's got access to the commercial food supply chain. He's actually giving formula away. Benji, good morning. Thank you so much for being with us. We're excited to hear about what you're doing. So tell us about how you came up with this idea and, more importantly, how you are able to get your hands on this formula, especially in the state of Texas.
So my wife and I, we have 3 boys, and we're watching the news, and we see the outcry for more formula. And I work for U.S. Food Service. I know they stock that product. So I went online, saw that they had a bunch of cases in stock, so I decided to purchase it. Once I purchased it, I thought, well, I'll just sell it at cost. And the first mom that came in was just so happy to get it, so there was no way I could charge her. So I decided just to buy what I can and donate it because everyone's so good to me in my restaurant during COVID.
I mean, that's just so incredible that you made that decision. Tell me about deciding, I'm just going to give it away. I mean, you were paying for them and you intended, I know, just to sell them for what you purchased it for. It's not like you were trying to make a profit on it, but tell me about deciding to give it away for free, that interaction with the first woman who did receive that formula.
It was last minute. was just something that just came from the heart. It just, I just felt like moms and dads shouldn't have to worry about feeding their babies. So if I can just help them a little bit with this burden, it's a blessing.
And what has the response been like wider from the community, from parents who've been desperate to feed their babies, who've been looking for formula? What's it like? What's your interaction been like when you are able to provide them with that?
The parents have been so happy that they can get a can or two just to hold them over until stock gets back up. People drove an hour away to get formula. Grandfathers are coming in, picking it up for their grandkids that have kids. It's just amazing.
Oh, so amazing. How has it been? I mean, we just heard from our colleague Jolene Kent there in her report that it's very hard in the state, 50% out of stock rates. Have you seen that? Have you seen a lot of people needing help?
Oh, yeah, it's everywhere we go. I have friends on social media looking for it. It's just everywhere you turn, there's no formula, and it's just amazing that we don't have any. It's just mind-boggling.
Absolutely. Benji, I know you said that you were inspired to give back to the community partially because of how they supported you during COVID. You just mentioned that. What was that support like? What is your community like? Tell me about it.
Our community was great. The city, they would come get meals. Business owners would drop off cash and say, do what you want with it. Give it to your staff. Do whatever you need. Just get through this. And it was an everyday occurrence for us in the city of Mansfield.
Such a good lesson. When you give to people, they give back just like you're doing right now. Benji, thank you so much. So incredible what you're doing.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me on.
Over on Wall Street, despite the high inflation the country is feeling right now, there's growing concern the U.S. economy might be heading towards a recession. Why? Well, all three markets ended in the red yesterday, with the S&P approaching a bear market. A bear market is when stock prices drop 20% or more from their record high. For more on that, we're joined by Caleb Silver, editor-in-chief at Investopedia. Good morning, Caleb. Real talk. Stocks rise and fall every day, of course, we know this, but this latest tumble all but wiped out any gains from 2022. How bad could this get?
It could get worse. I mean, we're in for a pretty bad tumble in the stock market because the conditions that were there that made the stock market be so powerful over the past few years, those are gone right now. We're facing high inflation, we're facing rising interest rates, and we have geopolitical uncertainty. Now, we had COVID over the last couple of years, but we didn't have rising interest rates then. We had very low inflation. All those conditions are reversed. That's why you're seeing so much pressure on the stock market. And investors don't have a lot of clarity towards the future. When we can't see the future, that uncertainty, that's like kryptonite for investors. They don't want any part of risky assets like stocks, like cryptocurrency. That's why the big sell-off has been happening lately.
And I think the big question everyone has, I know I have, is why? What's driving this downturn, and is there an end in sight?
Yeah, there's an end in sight because markets eventually revert to the mean. And it's important to make sure that we separate what's happening in the economy and what's happening in the stock market. They are not the same. Sometimes they walk hand in hand. Lately, they're both not doing very well. Why? We're facing an economic slowdown. We had massive growth in the last year and a half. A lot of that was because of the government distributions. A lot of that was because of spending that we weren't able to do in the depths of the pandemic. So we had a lot of growth. Now that growth rate is slowing for companies across the economy. So if you look at the big tech companies, if you look at a Netflix or an Amazon, sales are slowing, subscriber growth is slowing. If you look at the retailers, they're facing high inflation. They have to pass those costs on to consumers. Consumers have been spending and hanging in there, but they may break soon. And the cure for high prices is high prices. They're going to come down. Stocks will eventually revert to the mean. It's just a real bad sentiment right now.
And you talked about what real retailers are facing, right, and what they're doing to combat this. But break this down for the ordinary person who does not watch stocks every day in and out. What does it mean for them?
Yeah, well, if you have a 401k or an IRA, or if you've been invested in the stock market, you don't really take losses until you sell. And the worst time to sell would be in a down market like we are in right now, unless you just can't handle the losses and you need that money right away. If you're a younger person, or if you're like me in my 50s, I'm looking forward to bear markets because it's an opportunity to buy stocks at cheaper prices. But I know it's going to come back. The average return in the stock market is up 8 to 10% a year on average, going back about 80 years. We're not going to get that this year, but eventually stocks revert to the mean. So you got to hang in there. For folks facing inflation, that's a whole different story because we're spending $5,000 a year on gas now. Last year was only $2,800 a year on gas. That's a lot of discretionary income, hurts lower income folks the most.
$2,800 to $5,000, a lot to watch there. Caleb Silver, thank you.
Now, President Biden is in South Korea this morning after arriving there overnight, and it's actually his first trip to Asia since taking office. After months focused on the war in Ukraine, the president will try and reassure leaders that his administration is working to counter aggression in both Europe and Asia. Biden has stops planned in the South Korean capital of Seoul, and then he'll head to Japan, where issues with China and North Korea will be front and center. NBC News White House correspondent Carol Lee joins us now from Seoul. Carol, good morning. Always great to have you with us. So after the U.S. withdrew from Afghanistan, at the time, the president had hoped to refocus on Asia, but that was upended, of course, by the war in Ukraine, taking up his focus. So what's on his agenda for this trip?
Well, Savannah, the president's first stop after arriving in South Korea was to tour this Samsung plant here with South Korean President Yoon. And this plant is basically there's a plant that's going to be built in Texas that will be modeled after this plant. And so the president was really trying to emphasize investment in the U.S. and also just how they're moving to building more things in the U.S., boosting manufacturing jobs. And he's really trying to, in his first stop, draw this link from his foreign travel, what he's doing here in South Korea, to what Americans at home want him to be doing, which is focusing on their economic challenges. So he's highlighted this $17 billion investment in his plant in Texas, which will create roughly a couple thousand jobs. And the president saying that that's just the beginning and trying to demonstrate that America's alliances overseas really pay dividends back at home. The challenge for the president is that he's doing this as 75% of Americans think the country is on the wrong track, according to the latest NBC News poll. And this plant in Texas, for instance, isn't going to open until the second half of 2024. So that's not really going to address people's concerns and what they're struggling with in terms of inflation at this time.
Absolutely. And now, Carol, before the invasion of Ukraine, there was concern that China could use force to gain control of Taiwan. How is President Biden looking to confront that concern, and what's the latest on that front?
Yeah, it's still very much a concern within the administration. We heard from the White House this week that they still believe China has designs on Taiwan and could use aggression to make a move on Taiwan. There's a lot of concern about that. And what they're saying is that that would be unwise. And one of the hopes that you raised this with Ukraine, one of the hopes of administration officials is that China will be paying very close attention to the unity among the West and the U.S. and its allies in pushing back against Russia, and that it will take note and believe that that is something that could also take place among the U.S. and its allies in the Indo-Pacific region. And that's part of what President Biden is trying to do with this trip.
There's been concern that North Korea also may try to use the president's visit as an excuse to conduct a weapons test. Is that of concern to the White House?
Yeah, and a concern for the whole region, actually. And this would be something that they haven't done in some time, a nuclear test in particular. There's concern that it could be a nuclear test. It could be an intercontinental ballistic missile test. Either of those would be seen as highly provocative by the U.S. and its allies. And we heard from the National Security Advisor, Jake Sullivan, that the U.S. would be prepared to respond. Take a listen.
We are preparing for all contingencies, including the possibility that such a provocation would occur while we are in Korea or in Japan. We are prepared, obviously, to make both short and longer-term adjustments to our military posture as necessary to ensure that we are providing both defense and deterrence to our allies in the region, and that we're responding to any North Korean provocation.
So this is something that the U.S. and allies are concerned about. They don't have any intelligence that says there's actually definitely going to be a test, but everybody is on high alert here.
Absolutely. Something that's also always of concern just to the regular American citizen. Carol, before I let you go, I do also want to ask you about some breaking news this morning, because NBC News has learned that 2 Secret Service staffers are being sent home from this trip. Why is that? What can you tell us?
Yeah, there was an incident outside of the president's hotel before the president arrived here in South Korea with 2 Secret Service agents who got into some sort of altercation, and they were sent home and are being sent home in the process and going to be put on leave while there's a personnel investigation. So those 2 members of the Secret Service have been pulled off of the president's detail and will be going home.
All right. Well, we will be waiting for more details on that one. Carol Lee, thank you so much. Have a safe trip.
In Washington, the congressional committee investigating the Capitol riots wants to talk to one Republican lawmaker about events leading up to January 6th. Yesterday, the panel sent a letter to Republican Congressman Barry Loudermilk requesting a meeting to discuss a tour he gave on the day before the attack. Loudermilk and other Republican members of the House Administration Committee previously said there was no security video or any other proof that there were tours taking place ahead of the attack. But in the letter to Loudermilk, the January 6th committee says, quote, "We believe you have information regarding a tour you led through parts of the Capitol complex on January 5th, 2021, and that it directly contradicts claims by GOP members of the House Administration Committee." NBC News Capitol Hill correspondent Ali Rafa joins us now to break it all down. Ali, the panel leaders said in their letter that they had evidence that directly contradicts claims by GOP members of the House Administration Committee that security video showed no tours had taken place ahead of the attack. What evidence might that be, and what's at stake for Loudermilk, who, it's important to note, has denied that any reconnaissance tours took place ahead of the riots? What's at stake if it proves to be true?
Yes, and Clay, well, I think, first of all, it's important to backtrack here to understand this story and go back to the several days after January 6th, when several House Democratic lawmakers were accusing their Republican colleagues of giving tours of the Capitol complex, the miles of tunnels and hallways in and around it in the days leading up to January 6th to people who eventually ended up storming the Capitol. Congressman Loudermilk was one of those alleged to have given one of those tours, and he later fought back against those claims. Now the committee is calling that out as false. They're saying in this letter to Loudermilk released yesterday, in part, quote, "Republicans on the Committee on the House Administration claim to have reviewed security footage from the days preceding January 6th and determined that there were no tours, no large groups, no one with MAGA hats on." As you mentioned at the top there, the committee is now saying they have evidence of the opposite. What evidence that is, we simply don't know that yet. That could be witness testimony that they've gained. That could be security footage that they have. Loudermilk pushed back against this in a statement yesterday, saying in part, quote, "A constituent family with young children meeting with their member of Congress in the House office buildings is not a suspicious group or reconnaissance tour. The family never entered the Capitol building," they said, adding that the January 6th committee is once again pushing a verifiably false narrative that Republicans conducted reconnaissance tours on January 5th. So Loudermilk acknowledging he led a tour for a constituent family, but again saying that they never went into the Capitol. He later in that statement said that the committee is a political circus. He said he still hasn't received his letter asking him to voluntarily answer questions before the committee. And he's now demanding that Capitol Police release security footage of the day before the attack on the Capitol that would ultimately, in his words, kind of absolve him of any of these claims. What happens next is truly a test of time. We don't know if he will comply with that. The committee is asking him to appear next week to answer their questions. Okay.
And Ali, briefly, it's interesting that the public hearings are set to start in June, and this letter comes just a few weeks ahead of that. What's your take?
Yeah, so this is just another sign of the committee members really just checking off boxes on their to-do list before those long-awaited public hearings begin on June 9th. We know that they've interviewed over 1,000 witnesses. They have several thousand articles of evidence. We know that they are, up until a couple weeks ago, they were mulling over whether really how aggressive they could be with trying to get lawmakers to come in and answer their underlying questions that they still had. We know Loudermilk was one of several over 100 actually, House Republicans that voted against certifying the election results for Joe Biden. He was also in communication with the former White House Chief of Staff on January 6th. So there's still many questions that the committee has for Loudermilk, and they are hoping that he complies with this voluntary letter and answers their questions next week.
A lot to watch out for. I know you'll keep on it. Ali Rafa, thank you so much. Now, let's get a check on your Morning News Now weather.
Which means it's time for Michelle Grossman to join us on this Friday morning. Hey, Michelle.
Hey guys, happy Friday, and we are ready for a weekend warm up because we're looking at temperatures climbing into the 90s, the high 90s in the Northeast. So hopefully you have those fans out, the air conditioners are ready too, because we have an area of high pressure. It's going to be funneling in that really warm air. In huge contrast, we're looking at really cold weather in the west, and that's going to set the stage for a winter weather storm. We're looking at accumulating snow. So let's take a look at the major weekend warm up because we're looking at record highs, 60 cities across 21 states, stretching from the southern plains into the Great Lakes and Northeast, even New England. We will see some records broken. So a toasty Texas today. We're looking at temperatures in the 90s and 100s, 104 in Wichita Falls. We're looking at 104 in Abilene, 98 degrees in San Antonio, near 100 degrees in Dallas. We're into the upper 90s. And then as we go throughout the weekend, starting out on Saturday, we're looking at 90s in New York City, 92 degrees. The record is 93, 90 on Sunday. Boston, same story. We're into the 90s also on Saturday and Sunday. And then we're going to cool it down as we head towards Monday. So Philadelphia, we're forecasting a high of 97 for you on Saturday. That would be the all-time record for May if we do hit that. And the record is 95, so we most likely will break that record. A heat advisory is in effect tomorrow. 25 million people impacted. And that's because we're going to feel like 100 degrees in many spots. And this is really rare for May. Now, this heat, along with that cold air back to the west, will spark some severe weather today. So you guys, 8 million people at risk. We could see some damaging winds, some hail, and even a few tornadoes. Back to you.
Thanks for watching our YouTube channel. Follow today's top stories and breaking news by downloading the NBC News app.